Welcome to live stream. I'm trying to stream both TikTok and then not just both YouTube, the LinkedIn, and then all these devices. Just give me 1 second here. Uh, you know, TikTok is kind of a little bit unique in terms of how it allows me to go live. So just be patient. I'm just trying to log in into this. Okay, it's kind of unusual that it shows only sort of half screen. I don't know what's going on. For those of you who joined this TikTok, I am. Thank you so much for joining. I'm using a little bit bigger screen than usual, but it's just a little bit black screen popping up on this right side. But thank you so much for joining the live stream. Yes, Elaine, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Although I'm a Dr. Jae Francis, I'm a U.S. immigration attorney. I was a college professor for 22 years, and then I've been attorney for more than a decade. So I'm a U.S. Immigration lawyer. So today we're using new formats. We started last week, and then we're doing again this week. What that means is that each live stream every Thursday 5 p.m. Central Time, we're gonna have a certain topic, and today is dedicated to consular process cases, all consular process cases. Typically it can be K1 Fiancé Visa, CR1, of course, thank you so much, CR1 Spouse Visa, IR5 for parents, and then also I'm gonna talk about the aspect of consular process that you need to be aware. Once you start posting relevant questions, then I will be answering your questions. You can post the questions from TikTok or YouTube. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about processing time. I'm gonna start with the processing time. The K1 Fiancé Visa still from the beginning to the end 6 months, so very fast, right? The K1 CR1 Spouse Visa, we're talking between 1 year and 18 months. That's like a usual processing time. Parent cases, minor child, petition by U.S. citizens, step parents, usually 1 year and 18 months. Thank you so much for joining this TikTok and the YouTube live. So as you can see, the K1 is way faster than the spouse visa, right? So that's the difference between K1 and spouse visa. And also, I'm going to talk about potential additional process will be required under Trump's upcoming second term. And then you'll be surprised that there will be more add-on process to CR1 spouse visa than K1. So it's a little bit too early to predict. Hey, Archida, hello. Yeah, thank you for joining for this from YouTube side. I have a lot more from a TikTok side. Okay, I have a question here. Okay, so then that testing, it's not really control process. I will answer. You said my mother paid taxes and pay off housing. It means that you make contribution to U.S. economic well-being and development, and then no paperwork. I need a detail, but today I will be answering consular process. It means that the beneficiary are overseas. They're not in the U.S. And then looks like your mom's in the U.S. So that's for next week. So for now, I'm gonna alternate between consular process and adjustment of the status. So fantastic. Join live stream next week. Let me see. Okay, so there's a little bit of more, the questions here. Now, whenever I look, use my fingers, I'm scrolling TikTok inquiries. I have a lot more TikToks inquiry than YouTube at this point. So Mamo Shura is once again adjustment of the status question. There's a lot more TikTok followers when it comes to adjustment of the status marriage green card case than consular cases. I think that there's a little bit more demand and then interest on consular process with the YouTube viewers than TikTok. But I will answer a little bit some of them. So the Mamo Shura, you attended adjustment of the status interview, and then how long does it take to get a green card? The best case scenario would be the same day and up to 120 days. There's a slight chance that you may need to wait quite some time, up to 1 year. Okay, so finally we have a consular process inquiry. Jonette from TikTok. How long? Okay, Jonette. I want to apply for spouse visa, but okay, so you have a sponsor issue. So that's a really good question. So for now, under Biden, if your sponsor, which is your U.S. citizen spouse, doesn't make enough money, then you can simply go with a joint sponsor, right? So the answer is, Jonette, you may go with a joint sponsor. But under Trump, maybe it can be challenging because he's going to reintroduce public charge, self-sufficiency public charge, and it's a DS 5545. He tried to require during his first term, and then he's going to do it again, but we don't know how fast they're going to do it. So Jonette, submit your case as soon as possible. Soledad posted YouTube comment. Thank you so much. It said, Happy New Year. Thank you for your guidance and advice during this difficult time that we're about to face. And then that is true, right? Under Trump, there will be new regulations that we encounter during his first term, but there will be more. I don't think that it'll be carbon copy. It can be variation. It can be more aggressive, or maybe not. So it's kind of a little bit difficult to predict what's going to happen. But his main forte, right? His main focus would be mass deportation for those who are inside the United States, right? Especially who entered the U.S. recently, right? So that's one. Or the second one is that he said he's going to bring back Muslim travel ban, which is like consular process topic. So for those of you who are from predominantly Muslim, dominant country, he's going to bring back Muslim travel ban. You probably remember that there's a court fights, litigation to stop that. So it's going to happen again. Patrick, YouTube viewer, asked the question. So his girlfriend is in the Philippines now, and then his question is, will they allow here to stay 21 days a month for 12 months? Patrick, does your girlfriend have a tourist visa? Because Philippines doesn't have ESTA, so it must be tourist visa. So if you have a time, just clarify. Looks like you're asking question about how long she can stay in the United States with a tourist visa. Usually up to 6 months, or it can be less. So I will tell you this. Under Biden, when you enter the U.S. with a tourist visa, they were given 6 months usually, unless your foreign girlfriend, right, spouses enter the U.S. too often, or parents. Now it can be very short duration under Trump, but I'm not sure how to answer the Patrick's questions. We're getting her one. Okay, the tourist visa. Yeah, so then maximum duration would be 6 months per trip, per stay in the U.S. So good luck with the tourist visa. Perhaps you're thinking about going with the tourist visa route, then K1 Fiancé Visa. Well, I wish the best. But if your tourist visa route or option application doesn't go through, then contact us. We would be happy to help you with a fiancé visa. So I'm quite behind with the TikTok the question here. So I'm gonna sort of circle back. Sorry, I'm just need to scroll back quite a bit. Okay, there we go. Okay, Nahom has a consular process question. I filed K1 visa for my fiance on October 25th, the last year, and then looks like it went to California Service Center. How long does it take? This is very popular, right? Most 129F petition, which is the first step to start the K1 Fiancé Visa, will go to California Service Center. During the height of COVID period, they were very notorious in slowing down 129F petition, right? Up to 18 and then 18 months. Now that's not the case. So expect to get approval between 30 to 90 days. That's our cases, by the way. So we don't know how long it'll take for your case, but that's how long it takes. So 129F with the California Service Center, now it'll be between 30 and 90 days. I have some adjustment of the status. Humanitarian visa case. Yachin, you have a VAWA case filed in 2022. VAWA case takes about 2 years, 360, and then VAWA adjustment of the status from the filing takes 3 years. Okay, so Freedom for Vietnam asks question from YouTube. That's not really consular process case because this is hypothetical question from Freedom for Vietnam. He's asking if my asylum case is denied, is there any ways? Now it depends. Like if you have an asylum case with the USCIS, then your case will be referred to immigration court. If your asylum case is denied by immigration court, then next step would be you file appeal with a BIA. So you have a sort of second chance. Okay. Yeah. One of you asked question about transferring the case to Bahamas. So I'm just speculating, my answer to your question. So when you file I-130 petition, you need to indicate the location of your interview, right? So for example, if you're in Mexico, it'll be Juarez, Mexico. Now later, you may have a work visa to work in, for example, Canada. Then you can ask the National Visa Center to transfer your case to Montreal in Canada. And then you can do that with a K1 as well. So yes, answer is you may transfer your case to different state as long as you have a valid visa to stay and study and then work, or if you have a permanent residency over there. Okay, Queen has adjustment of the status question, marriage green card case. So, Queen entered the U.S. with a tourist visa and then submitted CR6 marriage green card case on December 26th of last year. Queen is asking whether you're safe from mass deportation. Depends. Depends. There's a lot of factors. It's kind of hard to tell. And then let's see. SPY vs. SPICE 9. I think that you're asking whether we take cases nationwide. Answer is yes. So U.S. immigration is a federal law, so you don't need to work with a local attorney. We represent all clients nationwide and globally. And then if that were your questions, yes. Answer is yes. Okay. Just trying to see. Yeah, and then Lab 67 asks adjustment of the status. whether marriage green card case will take longer under Trump. It's kind of hard to tell. I mean, it's a little bit premature. And then Sakibu asked how I'm doing, and then thank you so much for asking. Oh, okay. One of you said that Abdul say that his attorney dismissed the case without his permission, and that's not supposed to happen. Archida say hi, so I'd like to say hi. Welcome back. Okay. Ebenet said I filed for 129F by the end of August. So 30 to 90 days our cases. Doesn't mean that it'll be your processing time, but our cases go fast. Children asked, good question. So what if you're on visitor's visa in Canada? Can you apply for K1 over there? So children is visiting Canada with a tourist visa. She's asking whether she can choose Montreal for interview location. Unfortunately, the answer is no. You need work visa, student visa, but not the tourist visa, or permanent residency, or you need to be a Canadian citizen. Okay. Yeah, so then that's Demonia, file adult unmarried son case, right? I'm just guessing that you're a U.S. citizen. Whether U.S. citizen or permanent resident makes a lot of difference. But you've been waiting 7 years. You're almost there. But if you're a U.S. citizen, it'll take a little bit longer because it's adult, right? So for U.S. citizen, the age is critical. Permanent resident as well, but all adult children takes long cases. Yeah, and then same question, you file 129F in August 2024, you got the receipt notice. The next step would be approval notice. I hope that they don't issue any request for evidence. Yeah, Andrea 58, you're getting married to someone who overstayed visitor visa. If you need, attorney, contact us, right? Once again, I'm not supposed to tell you phone number. I'm not gonna do it, but you know how to find information on my profile, so you can do that too. Okay, so I'm getting some of the adjustment of the status. So I'm gonna talk about some of the issues that I'd like to discuss. So let's talk about expedited removal. It has two different contexts. The next time I'm going to talk about expedited removal of those who are here, who entered the US recently. But now today, I'm going to talk about expedited removal under Trump's second term, who are trying to enter the US via point of entry. Usually it's airports. But if you drive, then it'll be a landed point of entry. So what do you mean by expedited removal for those who try to enter the United States through the point of entry, whether it's airports or landed entry base? Now, under Trump's first term, CBP, who was in charge of a point of entry inspection, immigration inspection, turned away a lot of people using expedited removal. Expedited removal simply means that they don't need to put foreign nationals into removal proceeding. It means that you don't have a chance to present your case before immigration judge or immigration court. So tourist visa, ESTA were canceled, revoked under Trump for two common explanation or justification or excuses, depends on your political viewpoint. Number one, you're coming to US to get married and apply for green card, right? And number two, you're coming to US to work illegally. During his first term, the CBP, look at your smartphones and then backpacks, and they found something against you, and then they revoke tourist visa, ESTA, and then put you into expedited removal. It means that you're not going to prison or jail, but you're sent back. So what's the ramification of expedited removal? You're not allowed to enter the U.S. for 5 years. There's a 5-year entry ban. So what does it mean in the context of consular process? It means that on top of K1 or CR1 or parent cases, you need to submit a 212E waiver to remove or circumvent this 5-year entry bar. So it's going to happen again on regular basis under Trump's second term. So just be aware that U.S. entry with a tourist visa, ESTA, will not be easy. Also, I will tell you, based upon what happened during his first term, if your girlfriends, boyfriends, parents come to U.S. too often with a tourist visa or ESTA, at some point, their entry will be denied. Just be careful. Also, if your 129F petition is pending, I-130 is pending, when you enter the U.S. with a valid tourist visa or ESTA, your entry could be denied under Trump's second term, because that's exactly what happened during his first term. Okay, so let me, I'm a little bit behind. Let me see whether I missed any questions here. Thank you so much for joining this TikTok live today, and then YouTube. Okay. Yeah, so then friend asked the question, you have a girlfriend in Colombia. He's wondering whether K1 is better, spouse visa is better. My answer is a K1, now under Trump. So this is a good time to talk about potential add-on process to spouse visa. I mentioned and explained earlier that probably add-on process or additional requirement on K1 will be very limited. So let's start. Public charge, DS 5545 may be added into spouse visa. DS 5535, additional questions about like brothers and siblings and all these extended questions will be added to spouse visa in most cases, but that can be added to fiancé visa too, right? So that's out there. So also under Trump, instead of approving case, many cases will put it into 221G admin processing. It means that instead of making a decision right away, they're going to put it into a long pending review process. It's called 221G. Okay, I'm just reviewing this. Thank you so much for joining this TikTok. So I noticed that, I think that I mentioned this one earlier, that I get a lot more questions from YouTube when it comes to consular process. But when it comes to TikTok viewers, I get less questions here. So yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that many of the questions that you're posting today from TikTok are adjustment of the status questions here. So I will be answering some of them, but I like to really stay on the topic as much as I can. So okay, Soledad asked adjustment of the status question. So if I overstay, so then Soledad entered the U.S. 30 years ago with a tourist visa, and then he doesn't have any visa passport that he entered with now, but he has I-94 with him, right? So then can he apply for adjustment of the status? If this is a marriage green card case, yes. Okay, so he got married to U.S. citizen. Answer is yes, you may. But once again, under Trump's second term, we don't know what's going to happen. What I'm trying to tell is that under Trump's first term and Biden, that was sufficient. And then Soledad, if you need attorney, even though I don't speak Spanish, I have a many team members who speak Spanish. I mean, you've been in the US for 30 years, so I don't think that you need any Spanish speaking person, but contact us and then we would be happy to help you. Okay. Okay, so TikTok side is a little bit slow in the adjustment of the status, and then I'm going to talk about 601 waiver. So what's going to happen is that there's a high chance that Consular Post not only put your case into 221G admin processing, but they may find you with various 601 waiver. They claim that you're subject to inadmissibility. So I'm going to list some of them, usual suspect. For parents, spouses who brought spouses and children to U.S. without the visa, and then Consular Post will issue 601 waiver. It's called alien smuggling. Alien smuggling. Also, Consular Post will request and 601 waiver later under public charge. It means that you filed a bankruptcy, you're financially struggling, and then they say that we're not sure that whether your income is sufficient, even though you may have a good joint sponsor. So Dice asked the question here. I receive prima facie determination. How long does it take to get a work permit? Are you talking about U visa or VAWA? It is different, right? Different. Well, I mean, prima facie usually refers to VAWA case. So just let us know, because the U visa is called bona fide determination. So prima facie determination. Just let me know. Okay, so I have a Consular Post question here. So they got married in 2025. Okay. Okay. So then you're getting married soon, and then you're in Nigeria. How long it'll take for spouse visa? I would say 18 months. That's and so that you say you're gonna call office. Good idea. Call us. Okay, and then we'll talk to you. We'll help you. So the CR1 Spouse Visa, it'll take about 18 months. It may take longer or about the same, slower under Trump. It's kind of hard to tell, but that's the projection. Okay, so going back to a 601 waiver, so then what's going to happen is that under Trump, it'll be very difficult to assume that your case will be approved right after interview, because they may use DS 5535, or they may require that and then put you into 221G, or say that you need to go through a 601 waiver. So there's a lot of dramas. I don't want to dramatize what's going to happen under Trump's second term. By the way, he will be inaugurated as the next president on January 20th. We're almost there, but you need to prepare, because almost all pending cases will be reviewed by Trumpian USCIS and Consular Post overseas. Okay, Bala asked adjustment of the status question. Can you apply for EAD with 130, 130A? You did. Well, thank you so much for sending Rose. You didn't mention 45. In order to get EAD, you need to apply for 45. Okay, ask really good question. Is it better to marry outside the United States and ask him or tell him to come in the US with tourist visa? Okay, so you're a permanent resident. Okay, well, obviously, if you're a permanent resident, it's F2A case. It'll take between 3 and 5 years. It doesn't really matter where you got married. You can get married here if she has a tourist visa or overseas, but because it's going to take 3 to 5 years, it'll be consular process. If you need an attorney, let us know. But that's excellent question here. Unfortunately, consular process cases for F2A takes quite some time. Golden Glimpse How about immigrant visa? That probably will be the last question I'm going to answer. Like, will it go faster, slower, about the same? It's kind of hard to tell. So, well, thank you so much for joining today's live stream. Usually I do 30 minutes. Sometime I will go a little bit longer than this. So I do every Thursday, 5 p.m. Central Time. And then I, invite the TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook users to join this live stream. You can watch it later, but the benefits of joining live would be I'll be answering your questions right away instead of posting comments. Now, the next week, or going back to adjustment of the status, everything's dealing with the USCIS. Foreign beneficiaries are in the United States. It can be parents, it can be spouses, it can be minor children. I'm gonna include the VAWA, and then U visa. Anything that involves 45 will be discussed. Thank you so much for joining this live stream. Happy New Year, and then peace be with you. Thank you so much.